Hello everybody, welcome back to Simulated Heaven. I thought I would do a video to talk about the Oculus Rift DK2. As you know, I've had it a few days. Thought I'd try to quickly talk about my experiences, and I'll show you the Oculus World demo a bit later, which is basically the Tuscany demo. But first, some important housekeeping. I'd like to say, first of all, I apologise for the appearance of this video. It's a bit of a ghetto version of a video because this was the only way that I could find of recording the Oculus Rift and also a webcam. I thought that you didn't want to see only the Oculus Rift footage. I assumed that you'd want to see a webcam of this on my head, like an idiot, maybe, but if not, that's fine if you tell me, and maybe next time I do a video I won't try and have a webcam. Obviously, I think with time I'll be able to find a more elegant solution, but this is all I could come up with right now. Anyway, so a little bit of housekeeping. This actually arrives with a firmware which is the 2.10 firmware, and it says it in the manual that it's very important you update it to the latest firmware, which is 2.11. So all I did, as you can see, I'm in here, the Oculus VR developer area. So when you have one of these, all you have to do is come over here and register over here. And if you go onto the download area, this is where you can actually download the SDK. And also this thing here is very important, the Oculus runtime. You have to download that, install it on your computer, and essentially that is what will give you this Oculus configuration utility. And then you can access the firmware here. So you go onto tools, you go onto advanced, and you go on to update firmware. I don't think it will let me do it now. No, it won't. But anyway, basically then it will open a thing, and it will open a window, like a file explorer window. Then you just have to navigate to a folder which is called firmware, surprisingly enough, and it's all already in there. The 2.11 firmware is already in there. You just have to click on it. For me, it works really well. Absolutely no issues with the update of the firmware, but I think that is quite important that you're using the most up-to-date firmware. Also, I would like to say that the setup of this was fine. I didn't really have any issues. For some reason, I have to plug it into DVI on my computer. HDMI wouldn't work, but DVI was fine. Maybe in the future I might be able to get the HDMI working fine, I don't know, but yeah. And also, you need to understand that if you go here under tools, you go onto the Rift display mode thingamajiggy, you will see there is the direct mode and the extended mode. Now, my experience is when you use the direct mode, it works absolutely perfectly. But unfortunately, right now, the only things I can get working with the direct mode are the demo scene that is part of the Oculus Rift utility here, and the Tuscany demo. That's it. But when I'm using the direct mode, it feels amazing. It feels smooth. It feels really good. You can also use the extended mode, but personally, when I use that, it really seems like it doesn't work that well. Even if I have it in extended and I have this as the main monitor, so that therefore when you start a program it should open up in this one, I still find that pretty much 9 out of 10 of the things that run using extended, they don't seem like they sync up very well with my eyes. It kind of gives me a feeling of being slightly cross-eyed, or there's problems with the resolution and stuff like that. So I can't really get it working well using extended mode. I mean, obviously I will have a look into this more and I might be able to work it out. It might be fine, but right now extended mode seems like it is not a very good option for me right now. If any of you guys have worked this out, I would love to know what your solution is. But the only experiences I've had of feeling slightly nauseous while using this are when I've used the extended mode. When I've used the extended mode, that is when I've had like a glitchiness, the slight kind of cross-eyed feeling, the graphics are not very smooth sometimes, all these kind of things that really don't help the experience. So yeah, I would say that I'm essentially waiting for more and more of the applications and the games to update themselves so that they can use the latest direct mode, or so hopefully they will work fine with the direct mode. Because when you're using the direct mode, this will only turn on when you start a program which is supporting the direct mode. So you can see right now it's got the orange light over here, which basically means it doesn't have a video signal. When it's in extended mode, it's basically on all of the time. It's basically like a monitor all of the time it's on, right? Yeah. So then, if I was to start up the world demo over here, you would see that it would then start working, you see. So it does work really well in that way. So yeah, the direct mode is really good. Now the only other thing I'd like to say is that obviously I wear glasses. It's a little bit awkward if you wear a pair of glasses in here. It works, but it's just a little bit annoying when you're trying to wedge your glasses inside. It does help if you extend this fully out by using a coin here to extend both of these out. There's like a little thing here where you use a coin. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can put this on without looking like an idiot. Now, it's going to be hard. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. Now, I'd like to say at the beginning that the sensor, the positional sensor, unfortunately I'm using a sim rig, so I'm obviously sat here. I have a monitor here, and have put the tracker on the top of the monitor. Now, because of where I am, I can't really think of anywhere else that I could place it. I mean, maybe I will try to look into it, because I know they say you need 5 feet at least. Now, unfortunately, I really don't have 5 feet. I maybe have a couple of feet, maybe 3 feet at the very, very, very most. So I think that's why maybe I might not be getting the full tracking ability of the device. I mean, it seems to be working pretty well, but maybe I'm not getting the full amount. But I am aware of that, and of course, if I can work out a better location, but it's quite hard. I'm in quite a small room here, and I'm in a sim rig, so I'm basically sat. I don't know, but I am aware of that before I get loads of comments saying that the positional tracker is in the wrong place, blah de blah. Okay, so here we are. Now, the glasses thing is a little bit annoying. You have to adjust a little bit. Okay, so we are in the world. As you can see, I can look around. Now, the first thing that hits you with this is the fact it is so clear. Like, everything just looks so clear. And also, when you move your head, the head tracking is very smooth. And it's also, it feels very, very natural. And the graphics are really, really stable. It isn't as if, when you are moving, I don't have any stuttering, I don't have anything. It's so natural feeling, which is amazing. It's really good. And it's like I said, whenever I use extended mode, it really is not like that. It seems to be very unnatural most of the time, and it seems like that it kind of is a lot more glitchy in extended mode. And look, you can really see the details. Now, for some reason yesterday, when I was using this yesterday, I was, for example, over here, and when I saw the book, I was bending like this, and the view was moving much more. You know, when I was moving my head, when I was dipping my head like that. As you can see right now, it's not really moving that much right now. Like, moving inwards is not really working that well. Now, like I said, that's probably because of the positional tracker, but yesterday it was awesome. I was going like this, and you could really bend your head over an object and really get in there and, you know, see it very, 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 very nicely. So yeah, that's probably my fault with the positional tracker, but it was working fine yesterday. So, but it's kind of weird because I'm not really getting any errors. Usually if there's any problems with the head tracking or anything, there'll be an error message that will come up on your screen. I haven't had any, so it would appear it should be working fine. But anyway, that is just a minor thing. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing feeling. And unfortunately, I think that this demo, it doesn't really do the device justice. You know, this is exactly the same as the demo they had for the first version of the Oculus Rift. I mean, I would have hoped that they would have updated it so that they had a better demo that actually showed off more of the HD and all that qualities and the improved head tracking of this device. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have other things they have to be doing right now, so that's fine. But this demo itself doesn't really show off the device to its absolute fullest. Anyway, I'm going to be so amazed when some games actually start working with this. Then I think I'm going to be amazed. Like playing iRacing or other games where you're in a world with really high definition graphics and you're using this. I mean, I think I'm going to be amazed. I think I'm going to be completely and utterly amazed. Now, the other thing I need to talk about is the whole screen door effect thing. Now, the screen door effect in terms of, do I feel like I am looking at a screen? Do I feel like it's very obvious there's a screen in front of me? Now, most of the time, 99% of the time, that really doesn't dawn on me. It doesn't really dawn on me, or it doesn't seem like an issue, me seeing like scan lines or any kind of glitches with the pixels that make me realize that I'm actually looking at a screen. I mean, it looks pretty amazing. I mean, some of the objects, yeah, there is a little bit of slight line pixelation, but I think it's ever so faint that, to be honest, I really don't really notice it. But again, I think this is something we need to come back to when we're using this with more advanced software and games and things like that. But right now, I really have to say the screen door effect is not hardly that noticeable. Like, I really don't feel a negative feeling about, oh, it's obvious that I'm looking at a screen. The one thing that I would say is I'm aware of why Oculus Rift actually gave you a free cleaning cloth, because I find it's so important that you keep the lenses and even the screen very, very clean. If you get one slight dirt, if there's even a little amount of dirt or fluff or whatever on one of the lenses or on the screen itself, that is where I find it's very, very immersion breaking. in that there'll be a black blob or a black mark on your screen which is there all of the time, and that is much worse than any other screen door effect thing, you know, making you feel that you are actually looking at a screen. So it's very important that you keep this very, very clean. All of the time it's very, very clean, then the black marks are not there, and it's a really, really natural experience, a really nice, really natural experience. It's pretty amazing, really. The only other thing, obviously, is the fact, because I'm using the Xbox 360 controller, the movement is slightly jarring. That's the only other thing I would say, is that the movement is slightly jarring because of that. But that isn't really their fault, you know, that's the fact that I have to use an Xbox 360 controller. But anyway, there you go. Hopefully I've been able to explain my feelings, my initial feelings. I think the only other thing I would say is I don't feel at all nauseous or anything while I'm using the direct mode. I feel like I could be in this for a long, long time and feel fine, even though I'm moving around, look, quite a lot. I really don't feel anything. It feels really nice. Obviously, again, this will have to be updated when we're using more complex games and things like that. It'll be interesting to see if that does change. But right now, I feel that I could be using this for hours and hours and it'll be fine. So yeah. Okay guys, so let's just carefully take this off my head. So yeah, so hopefully I have kind of talked about some of the main feelings I have about this and some of the important things and slight issues, but you know, I'm very, very excited about this, really. I mean, it's still very early and you can see that it's got really good potential. So I am very excited. Obviously it is going to take at least a few weeks, probably even a few months, for some of the games to update themselves so that they work well in the direct mode with this. Even some of the demos that say that they work with DK2, right now all of the ones I've tried, they only work in extended mode, which is, like I said, I don't find extended mode works very well. That might be because of my problem, but I have tinkered around with it a lot and I can't really get things working well in extended mode. Anyway, I mean, if you have one of these, I'd love to know what you feel about it, your first impressions, or you know, if there is a way that you've got the extended mode working very well, I would love to know about it. But personally, the direct mode is the only way that I've actually got this working really, really well. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this video. Like I said many times already, if you do have a question you can leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.